Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing a ton of homemaking motivation. We are going to be meal prepping for the week so our fridge can be full and we can avoid eating out, doing all that stuff that just naturally comes when you don't plan. So first I'm gonna be cleaning up the kitchen because clearly it needs a little love. I want to create a clean workspace so that we can get everything done. And then the recipes that are on the menu for today are a delicious buffalo chicken casserole. So good. You can have this for breakfast. You can honestly have it really any time of the day. I'm also gonna share a sausage and cabbage soup. So yummy. That sausage just, I don't know, and I love cabbage soups. Then I'm also gonna be sharing what we're making for dinner tonight, which is like an autumn sheet pan dinner. I love sheet pan dinners. They are so incredibly quick and easy to put together, no work, and it's like a one-pot meal. This one's gonna be incredible. And then for dessert, or like a treat that you can kind of keep in the fridge and just have throughout the week if you like, is a Bananas Foster sweet potato. My mouth is watering thinking about it. So yummy. And then of course we're going to be food prepping some produce and things like that. So we have a lot to get done. I'm so excited and I'm really gonna be thankful that I took the time to do this today when the rest of the week comes because it's gonna be a busy one. So let's go ahead and get into it. I wanna hear you say that you only want me. These, by the way, have been super nice to have for the boys. So pretty much Liam and Noah use these, but they use these every morning. They kind of wrote up their list and then they just check it off every morning. It's made our school mornings so much better. I got these from TJ Maxx the other day. It was just $10 for a pack of 4. They're like those, I think hobnail is what they're called. I have been wanting these for so long, these glasses. I've been kind of thinking about changing out our mason jars a little bit, but every time I see them, I feel like they're really expensive. So when I saw this pack for 4 for $10, I was like, yes. And they had 2, so I got both. And I just think these are gonna be so pretty, but we'll have to toss them in the dishwasher first. And then also I wanted to share this. I've actually shared this over on Instagram, but this is like a little daily planner. What I like about it, this is actually the second one I've gotten and I got a little bit different style than I had before, but I will link both of them down below. I've loved both of them just for different reasons. It's nice because it's actually time blocked, so you can actually write out your schedule. For me, if I just write a to-do list, I feel overwhelmed and I feel like, oh, I'll try to get some things done, but it's like nothing is really set in time. And so a lot of times I end up putting way more on my to-do list than I can actually tackle. And so this way I'm able to know I can't get 5 things done in 2 hours. So I'm just able to be more realistic about my to-do list every day. And it has made like such a huge difference. I feel like I've been being way more productive than normal and also not being hard on myself when I don't get everything done because I can really see exactly what I'm able to do each day. So I wanted to show you guys something I just got. It's a little like mini slow cooker. This was just from Walmart. It was like $10. And I love doing simmer pots on the stove. I think they're so fun because you can a lot of times take like extra things that you have. Like these are actually some old apples that are pretty bruised and stuff. So I don't know if they would really get eaten. So I'm able to use those things, put them in a simmer pot. It smells the house so good. It smells so amazing. But I always forget when I have things on the stove if I walk out of the kitchen. And so I feel like I always am going back and like, oh darn it, like it's almost out of water and I forgot that it was even going. So I figured a crock pot is a lot safer option for me and maybe same for you guys. So it's a 2-quart crock pot, but it's nice because it's just plugging in. It has like that low or warm setting. So you don't have to worry about burning your house down or ruining a pan or anything. And it's just like the perfect size. How amazing is that? So today we are going to do a fall simmer pot. So all I'm using is apples. I happen to have some extra vanilla, so I'm gonna use a splash of vanilla, some cinnamon sticks. You can actually find cinnamon sticks at Dollar Tree a lot of times, and it's like the best deal there. And then also some whole cloves. You get a pack of these and it'll last you for years, or at least for me, it lasts me forever. And then since we want to smell it, I'm not going to put the lid on. I'll just set it off to the side. And since you've been gone, there's no peace of mind. A foolish heart and healing thought I would be fine. No matter where I lay my head, another town, another bed. No matter what I do. So before we get too far into today's video, I wanted to remind you guys to make sure that you're getting entered for my fall giveaway. This has been going on this entire month, and today's video is actually the very last one that's included in this giveaway. So I am giving away $200 of my favorite goodies at the moment, and all you have to do to enter is make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and then go ahead and leave a comment on all of the videos that I've shared this month. I will have all of that information down below in the description box, and stay tuned because I'm hoping to put up a reel in the next day or two sharing all the things that I'll be giving away for this giveaway. And once again, I just want to let you know how grateful I am for you. I started this channel years and years ago when I was struggling with postpartum depression as a way for me to just do something for myself and be able to connect with people and just kind of feel kind of like myself again. And it has turned into something that I never imagined, and I am just so incredibly grateful for that. And I'm so incredibly grateful for you guys. So thank you for being here. I cannot understand or like begin to understand how this year has gone by so fast. I remember when I was a kid, it felt like it took years and years and years to get from one Christmas to the next. And now that I'm an adult and I have my own kids, it's just mind-boggling to see how fast time truly does fly. I feel like one day it just started going fast and it's never slowed down, not a single time. So needless to say, I'm in disbelief that we are already to October basically, and we are months, just a few months away from 2024. Isn't that crazy? I just cannot believe where the time goes. But anyway, we are almost to October. We are almost to Halloween time, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, like all the busy, busy time of the year. And with that being said, I am writing down different ideas for videos that I want to share over the next month. And as always, I want to make sure that I'm sharing things that you guys are interested in seeing and things that you think would be helpful for you. So I just wanted to ask and see if you had any requests for videos, and if you do, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and any ideas that seem really popular in the comments, I will try to add that to my plans for the next month. I feel like it's been a little while since I've shared a mindset chat. You guys know I love to share mindset chats and just talk about things that can better ourselves and better our days. So something that Kyle told to me that he had heard on a video, I don't know where it was, but he had heard it recently and he shared it with me, and it just clicked in my mind. I thought it was so good. So basically there was this guy and he said whenever anything bad happens in his life or anything not ideal or not going to plan, he says good. And so as soon as Kyle told me this, I was just like, all right, you got me on the hook. I'm intrigued. Let me know more. And basically, anytime you have something go not according to plan, anytime you have something go less than ideal or even bad, it actually can end up being good and a blessing for you, because there is so much to learn from that experience. There is so much room for growth. And I can attest to so many different trials in my life In the moment, they definitely seem like a bad situation. They definitely seem like a bad thing has happened. But after some time has passed, or after I've been able to work through things, I can look back and see how that was actually a blessing in my life, how I was able to be better from it, how I was able to improve things after going through that. And that has been definitely something that I've been working on even just this last week. Anytime I have a hiccup in life, anytime something has shifted from my ideal or from my plans, I have said good. And it really has made a big difference in just helping me not kind of wallow in my sadness or wallow in my unhappiness that something didn't go according to plan. And instead I look at, where could I improve? What is this going to teach me? It's just like, you can kind of get almost excited about what lesson you're going to be able to learn. So I hope that that can be a good thing for you to hear this week, and hopefully it can make a big difference in your life as well. Once the dishes were all done, I just started rolling out my silicone dish drains or dish mats. These have been incredible. And I also wanted to share with you guys before everything sells out, Bloom Towels just dropped their 2023 fall collection, as well as a surprise mini Halloween collection. I cannot wait to get my hands on them. So as soon as I get them in person, I will show you what they look like, but you can see them on the right side of the screen here. They are amazing. I'm super stoked for the fall ones. You know that I want you, so come a little closer. Yeah, we could take it slow here. Come a little closer. All right, so we are all ready to start cooking. Everything that I'm actually gonna make today is from this quick prep paleo cookbook. I would say I mostly am eating paleo, not 100%, but everything today is going to be dairy-free and gluten-free. You won't miss it at all. Trust me, these are delicious recipes. So we're gonna start with buffalo chicken breakfast casserole. So what you're going to need for this is cooking oil or butter or ghee, and then 12 eggs, a quarter cup of almond milk, a quarter cup of mayonnaise, half a cup of buffalo or hot sauce, 2 cups of pre-cooked shredded chicken, or you can shred your own chicken. Then you'll need a quarter cup of diced green onions, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of paprika, and half a teaspoon of salt, and then also 1 teaspoon of dried dill. And then if you would like, you can top it with a little bit of ranch, but it's totally optional. All right, so we're gonna start by preheating the oven to 375 degrees. And then we are going to basically just add all of our eggs to a big dish. Make sure you whisk that really well. Then you'll add in your milk, mayonnaise, and buffalo sauce. Add that into your egg mixture. Again, whisk that really well. Make sure it's nice and blended. Then you are going to add in your shredded chicken along with green onions and all of the spices that we have set out. Then again, just give that a good stir, add it into your casserole dish, and pop it in the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes, making sure that the eggs are nice and set. And that's it. It's so easy and it comes together really, really quick. This dish has really become one of my favorites. It's been the perfect grab and go breakfast or even snack, and I love it because it's very minimal prep to actually make it. And to heat it back up, I actually just pop it in my air fryer for a few minutes, but you can also pop it in the microwave, heat it up on the stove, the oven if you wanted to go to that trouble, but it is just so delicious, and especially if you top it with a little bit of ranch, it's so yummy. All right, while the buffalo chicken casserole is baking in the oven, we are going to make that cabbage and sausage soup. It's so delicious, warm, and I don't know, I love that combination for fall. So I don't have caraway seeds, which is one of the things it calls for. So I looked up online, thanks to Google, and I was able to find out you can use cumin. I haven't used cumin before in this recipe, but I love cumin. It's like one of my favorite spices, so I feel like it should be good. But if you have caraway seeds, go with that one. For this recipe, you're going to need 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 onion diced, then about 13 ounces of sausages. I really like these Gilbert sausages, but they come in a ton of different flavors. Then you're going to need 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 head of cabbage cut into 1-inch pieces, 3 large carrots cut into chunks, and 3 medium red potatoes cut into 1-inch pieces as well. You really want to make sure that everything is kind of uniform whenever you're cutting it. That way everything cooks nice and evenly. Then for the seasonings, you're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 teaspoon of caraway seeds or cumin as I have, and then half a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and then you'll need 6 cups of broth, and I am just using the Better Than bouillon. All right, so for this recipe, we are going to start out by washing off all of our produce and then getting everything chopped up. So you're gonna wanna chop up your potatoes into 1-inch cubes. You can leave the skin on or take it off if you want. We're also going to chop up our onion, the cabbage, the carrots, also the sausage. Once we have all of that done, you're going to grab a large stock pot, add in a little bit of oil, and then you'll start cooking your sausage and also the onion for about 3 to 4 minutes or so, or until the onion kind of starts to soften. Right at the end, you're going to add in the garlic. Once all of that is going, we are going to basically just add in everything else. So add in all of your cabbage, potatoes, onions, carrots, all the seasonings, and then add in the apple cider vinegar and finish it off with those 6 cups of stock. Give that a good stir until everything is well combined, and then you're actually going to bring everything to a boil. Once it starts boiling, you're going to bring everything back down to a simmer and let that simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. I feel like the fall and winter time is full of comfort foods, all those things that are typically not good for you that just taste amazing. But these ones that I'm sharing today are very unique because they definitely have that warmth and comfort food aspect to them, but they are actually good for you, so you don't have to feel guilty. You can feel like you're still taking care of yourself while you're letting your taste buds really enjoy themselves. All right, next we are going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and I'm gonna get started on our baked sweet potatoes. Now you can also microwave these for, I believe, about 7 minutes, but I prefer to bake them in the oven, especially when I'm making a lot of them at once. So I'm going to bake them at 350 degrees for 45 minutes, and then just make sure that you are poking those first to let out any steam. And I am, of course, using my very well-loved and very used cookie sheet. I feel like we all have some of these in our homes that are just a very different color than when we first purchased them years and years ago. And then I'm also using this silicone liner. I love this for cookies, for baking anything. It's just so perfect because you don't have to add any extra oil or anything to keep everything from sticking. Now I just wanted to get started on some food prep itself, not necessarily meal prep, but just prepping out some produce so that we actually use the produce we buy and don't end up wasting it. So I'm just using this fruit and veggie wash just because I have it, but you can definitely use baking soda or vinegar if you don't have a fruit wash. I don't feel like this is necessary or does anything crazy. And I did want to share about this food strainer because I do get questions about it whenever I show it on my videos, but I got this one from Amazon and I have not been good about updating my Amazon favorites page, but I'm working on that this week. So that should be in there along with a lot of other things that you've probably seen me using here on the channel for a long time. And then my storage containers are actually from Temu. You can probably find them on Amazon as well. I just got them on Temu and they were a lot cheaper. So if you are in need of some, definitely check those out. All right, let me know in the comments, what is your very favorite fruit to snack on? I feel like mine is mango or like a really, really good peach, but it has to be really ripe because, you know, if it's not ripe, it's just not very good. I'm definitely like a big fruit and veggies girl. Like I pretty much like everything other than I've tried a few random fruits. I don't know if it was guava or something like that. And I wasn't a huge fan of it, but honestly, I'm probably just picked it out when it wasn't ripe. And so that was probably user error. And then the only vegetable that I really don't like is mushrooms. I don't know what it is. It's just a texture thing, but everything else I'm pretty much good to go. And also I wanted to mention, I typically will separate my fruit whenever we prep them out, but this time I decided to just go ahead and add in everything together. So I have cantaloupe on the bottom, pineapple in the middle, and then I'm going to prep mango on top. And it actually worked out really good. It definitely saved a lot of space, not having to have several different containers full of fruit. And it almost just created its own little fruit salad. So I think I'm probably going to be doing this from now on instead of separating things into their own containers. Also, I almost never prep out mango. I usually just cut it up when we're ready to eat it. So right in the beginning, I started cutting it up the way I would cut it up for the boys to enjoy right away. And that made it a little bit trickier to peel and get it cut up, but the boys loved having it just prepped in the fridge so they could grab it whenever they wanted some. So I have shared this before, but my mom makes her salads not just with a bunch of lettuce, but she actually adds in a bunch of other veggies kind of mixed in. and I always love it when I go stay with her. It just makes the salad feel more special and a little bit more exciting than just a bunch of lettuce leaves, because you have the crunch from things like celery or carrots, maybe cucumber. Red peppers are my favorite. And so I just end up adding them right onto the top. I don't even bother mixing them in, because as you grab your salad out, those heavier things will kind of trickle down to the bottom anyway. So that's just how she does it. That's how I do it, and it works amazing. We got a ton prepped out today. So we have soup for lunches, this buffalo chicken casserole. It is amazing. That is done. And then also we got some produce prepped out. So we have a good green salad, some mango, cantaloupe, and pineapple, grapes, blueberries, all that good stuff for the week. I am gonna make dinner, and I'm also gonna make that dessert. The sweet potatoes have just a little bit longer in the oven to go until they're done. So I'm gonna let those keep baking. We're gonna have to go pick up the kids here. Where's the time? In just a few minutes. So I'm gonna pause for a minute, and then I'll meet you guys. Well, I'll get all this put away, and then I'll meet you guys back here for dinner time and dessert. You do not wanna miss that. That stuff, it's so good. My name is Amanda, and I am the ultimate underestimator. It never fails. I always think I can fit way more into a small space than I actually can. I also think I can get way more done in a very tiny amount of time than is actually possible. And I do this consistently over and over again. It never fails. I always underestimate things or overestimate the possibility of things. I don't know. Either way, sometimes it's a benefit to me, but this time it made me a few extra unnecessary dirty dishes to wash. So I went ahead and made up these sweet potatoes because, one, I love to have them in the fridge just throughout the week. I can heat them up and have them as a side dish, and this way the hardest part is done. But I'm also making them for that Bananas Foster sweet potato that I'll be sharing in just a little bit. Oh my gosh, my mouth waters every time I think about it. It's so, so good. So I'm gonna cut up the rest of these, and then one I'm just storing in a piece of foil to keep it nice and warm until we use it later on. All right, it is about 5 o'clock. I'm actually a few minutes late starting this, but that's okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is actually preheat our oven, because we're doing the sheet pan dinner, and we're gonna preheat it to 425 degrees. Let that start preheating, and then I'll grab all of the ingredients and show you guys how we make this. Just a reminder, anytime I share a recipe, I always have a little recipe card up on the screen just to make it easier. You can screenshot that, you can print it, you can save it to your phone, but hopefully that just makes it easier to be able to find the recipe. So anyway, I just wanted to remind you guys of that, but let me grab all the things we need. Okay, so for this recipe, you're going to need 1 medium sweet potato cut into 1-inch cubes, 4 cups of butternut squash, also cubed, 1 medium onion, half a cup of fresh or frozen cranberries. I'm actually using dried cranberries. We'll see how that goes. Then you'll add in 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 tablespoon of melted ghee. You can also use butter if you don't need to be dairy-free. 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, half a teaspoon of thyme. I also am out of thyme right now, so I have like a different mixture of seasoning that I actually DIY'd and made myself. So I'm gonna be using that because that does have thyme in it. Also, you'll need 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 6 skin-on chicken thighs. I absolutely love a good sheet pan recipe because they're so customizable. You can pretty much put whatever you have on hand, so you don't need to overthink this dish. I also love them because they are very minimal work to make, and they also make very minimal dirty dishes, which is always a win. And by the way, those dried cranberries worked out beautifully. If you're wondering if you're out of season and you can't find fresh or frozen cranberries, dried cranberries absolutely work in this dish. So once you get everything chopped up and kind of mixed up on your sheet pan, you're just going to give it a drizzle with oil and then season it up. Next, it's time to make the butter sauce that we're going to be putting over the chicken. First, you're going to melt your ghee or butter or coconut oil, whatever you want, whatever you have. And then once that's all melted, I really like to crush my rosemary in my hand. It just helps bring out the flavor. And then you're going to add in your thyme and garlic powder. Give that a good mix until everything's well incorporated. Then you'll lay your chicken on top of your veggies and kind of drizzle that butter mixture over top of everything and just do your best to kind of slather it all over. Now, for me, every few months I try chicken thighs again, and every time I do, I always kind of regret it. I always just prefer chicken breast, but I do know that both will work in this recipe. So whatever you have, whatever's on sale, whatever you prefer, go ahead and use that type of chicken and you'll be good to go. Just bake this in a 425-degree oven for 45 minutes and enjoy. Okay, banana foster sweet potato time. You guys are going to love this recipe. So of course you'll need a sweet potato and butter or coconut oil, maple syrup, vanilla extract, cinnamon, a banana of course, and chopped pecans, which are optional, as well as coconut flakes, which are also optional. Now remember we cooked those sweet potatoes earlier, so if you haven't done that already, do that first. And then in a small pan, just melt your butter or ghee or coconut oil, whatever you're using. Add in your maple syrup and a sprinkle of cinnamon and stir until combined. And then once that begins to boil lightly, you'll just cut up a banana and add that right into the pan. Give it a good stir and cook it for about 3 to 4 minutes or until it's nice and caramelized. And then you're going to add in your chopped nuts. Again, totally optional, but I love the addition of chopped nuts. It just gives that nice crunch to this dish. Once you have your bananas foster all cooked up, you're just going to take your sweet potato, cut it in half just like this, and go ahead and top your sweet potato with that banana mixture that we just cooked up. It is so good. Like I mentioned, you can absolutely add in some coconut flakes if you like. I definitely do because I love coconut so much, but this dish is so delicious. It is dairy-free. It is gluten-free. It is refined sugar-free. There is so much goodness packed into this, but it tastes like an incredibly decadent dessert. So, so yummy. I'm honestly thinking this is going to be something that I'll serve for Thanksgiving Thanksgiving this year because it's, again, one of those guilt-free comfort foods. We made so many tasty and healthy fall dishes today, and I don't know if I could pick a favorite. It might be between that buffalo chicken bake and the banana Foster sweet potato. I feel like those are the ones that I just cannot wait to make again and add to my meal prep for the week. But honestly, you cannot go wrong with any of these. So if you end up making any of these at home, please come back. Let me know in the comments what one was your favorite, what ones you liked the most. Now, thankfully, I did clean up a little bit as we went, so I didn't have a huge mess waiting for me right at the end. But I did go ahead and turn off our simmer pot for the night. This simmer pot will stay good for days. All I do is just pop the lid on it, unplug it or turn it off, and then the next day fill it up with a little bit more water, and we're good to go again for a few more days. But also, I did want to let you guys know I am decorating our home for Halloween next week. It's so much fun. I don't do anything crazy, but I just sprinkle in Halloween and the boys absolutely love it. So stay tuned for that video, and don't forget to get entered into the giveaway, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!